So I thought I'd share the issues that I've been trying to work on in this downtime during the COVID-19 lockdown. And this is a video taken a while back, maybe 6 weeks ago, that really illustrate the bad habits and the laziness that I had crept into my game with my practice. You'll see a couple of things. One, my posture had deteriorated. I got my weight too far forward and a little bit crouched. The other thing is taking the club back. I've had a couple of issues with my shoulder and knee ops, but I got really lazy with hovering the club above the ball, bypassing any real structure to the start of my swing, and taking the club away really quite poorly, in so much that the club face was really hooded or closed. This left elbow got kind of disconnected. And what that meant is at the top of my swing, the shaft was in a really steep condition. So I had the club shaft going back very steep. And with that, the change of direction, it became even steeper. So when I started my downswing, it got into a really upright position, which made it very easy for me to come in over the top or too square and hit the ball with some low left hooks. So here I kind of save it by stopping my body movement. But I had enough evidence on the golf course that when my timing was out, that shot would just go straight left. So the next couple of videos you'll see, I'm going to illustrate the things that I did to counter that. So the first was to make sure I got my setup a little bit more structured. So I went back to a little bit of basics with regard to setting up correctly. Here I've got the club face nice and square. The shaft is pointing at my belt. In fact, if I do this from the other direction, you'll see the drill from both directions. So here I'm looking for the shaft to be horizontal, pointing at my belt. Then I move my weight onto my right foot. And from there, it's easy to tilt to the ground, making sure I keep the angle between my left arm and the shaft consistent. Then I can get my ball position and balance correct. So from here now I'm a lot closer to the ball, a lot more structured, not so tilted over. The weight's no longer too much on my toes, but towards somewhere between my heel and my toes there, and the club's pointing nicely at my belt. You'll also see the benefit of that is that my right arm then goes into a little bit more neutral position. My shoulders, or my spine's at 90 degrees into my shoulders, and my shoulders and hips are in line. So that's the basics of what I'm looking for to make a good motion. So that's our starting point. So I don't know anybody who wouldn't kind of benefit from improving their routine with regards to their setup. And just by going through those basic steps, moving your weight onto your front foot, tilting, ball position, balance, that should get you into a much more comfortable position or stronger position to make your swing from. It just takes a little bit of discipline, but if you repeat that, I promise it'll help with every club in the bag. In the next video, I'll show how I try to cure the steepness of the club on the backswing and on the downswing.